Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you guys like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So we have a poll out of Nebraska that's worth analyzing. Nebraska's not a state that's competitive. It's not a swing state by any means, but still, it is a state that does divvy up its electoral votes by congressional district. They give 2 to the statewide winner. They give 1 congressional district and electoral vote each. Donald Trump swept the board in 2016. He won Nebraska's 2nd district, the most competitive, fell short in 2020. But still, is it possible that Donald Trump could win it because it's a crucial electoral vote? Now, it is true the Nebraska state legislature was thinking about making the state winner take all. I think it should be, even if Maine was effectively going to counter, which I don't believe that they would have been before Election Day, given just how the system works up there. They possibly would have had a petition to block the bill, put it on the November ballot, so you could have had Nebraska basically net Trump an electoral vote while Maine would still give 1 to Trump. But still, even if that was a trade that we would have to make, I just believe it'd be easy. Trump could still win Maine, by the way. There have been some polls that have him leading. I think it's a long shot, but he has a much better shot to win Maine than Joe Biden does to win Nebraska, to the point where I think it just would be a trade-off, and it would simplify things. Every state should kind of have the same thing. Yeah, they technically can have their own different laws, but still, I think that Maine and Nebraska, it's a little annoying. It kind of just makes the whole process more complicated, hard for people to understand, but still, that's beside the point. We're going to be talking about that, but this poll's crucial. Now, it is a poll that was commissioned by this guy Osborne, who's running as a left-leaning independent in the Senate race. And this is what Democrats are doing now in some red states. They did it in Utah against Mike Lee. They ran Evan McMullin. Technically, Evan McMuffin is his name that he's basically known by around these parts. But, you know, he, unlike a Democrat, he was able to be more competitive. He only lost by like 10 to 15 points. Still didn't win, but maybe caused Republicans to spend resources there. And Republicans should honestly do this back to Democrats in places like New Jersey, Connecticut, run these independent candidates who are like center to center right that can drain Democrat resources. But still, it's not like this poll was conducted by a Republican firm. PPP's a Dem internal. Usually they're left-leaning. And what did they show? They showed that, you know, obviously the Senate race, this is kind of a push poll. I don't think Fisher's going to be at 37. A lot of undecideds. Fisher's not going to be in trouble. Deb Fisher's going to go out there, win by, 15 points at a minimum. We know that. Republicans don't need to focus on the Senate race at all. But still, the presidential race, Donald Trump leads by 23, which is more than what he led by in 2020, which would make sense if he's, doing better in the popular vote. He's doing better all around, I guess you could say. But still, the most crucial part about this poll, Donald Trump is up by 3 points in Nebraska's 2nd district. He leads by 3 in Nebraska's 2nd, which is a major change of pace. Now, keep in mind, Nebraska's 2nd did vote for Trump in 2016, and it did vote for Republicans, every Republican office in the 2022 election. The governor, he won it by, a little bit less than a point, but he still won it. So it's not like people are averse to voting for Republicans. Obviously, 2022, despite it being an underwhelming year for Republicans in many places, still in a lot of deep red states, it was a very decent year for them overall. So still, it's a little bit subjective as to how much you can extrapolate from that. But still, Biden is definitely cratering nationwide, and there are the third-party candidates in the mix as well. There was a high third-party vote share in 2016. You didn't see that in 2020. And you had states that had a high third-party vote share like Colorado and Vermont move vastly to the left in 2020. And those were the 2 states that moved left the most. Number 3, if you count it as a state, which technically it's not, it's a district, it moved left by 8 points. That's this district right here, Nebraska's 2nd district. Now, can Donald Trump flip it back? Well, this is the only poll we have, but it's intriguing to look into because it is an electoral vote that could matter. It could really give Donald Trump a boost. and possibly could bail out the weak leadership of the state legislature there. But if you take Nebraska's 2nd District and you remove it from the surely to go in each column designation on this map right here, these states in gray that are not filled out could go either which way. But if you do that, and you give Donald Trump the state of Georgia, he's in good shape in Georgia, North Carolina, very good shape in these 2 states. He's at 251 already. That's kind of like the firewall this cycle. One could say, assuming Trump gets that, he's in very good position for victory. He's up in the polls in Arizona by like 5. Same thing with Nevada, but that's not enough. That gets him to 268. The Rust Belt polling is close. I think Trump is going to win possibly all 3 of these states. I think he at least gets Wisconsin. I think he gets Pennsylvania too. Michigan, that's, the polls have been kind of, I guess you'd say, moving a little bit to the left, but I still think just because of the auto industry, the Israel-Palestine thing, Trump has a very good shot at Michigan. Minnesota even has come into play, but Nebraska's second. If he gets that, he gets 269. And that's crucial because this means that Republicans would have this election go to the House. And they don't vote based off of who wins the House. I think Republicans in this scenario probably narrowly hold the House. But what it does is it goes to the House and they vote based off of state delegations. Each state gets 1 vote. Republicans, it would take a lot to go wrong for them to lose the advantage they have in state delegations to the Democrats. So based off of that fact, yeah, Donald Trump would win the presidency. It would be chaotic, and Democrats are not going to let go of power very easily. Whatever we saw in 2020, the pendulum always swings back. 2016, a lot of Democrats were very angry. You saw riots in the streets. Nobody ever talks about Portland or the federal buildings in Portland or whatever that we saw in 2016. A lot of crazy lunatics were rioting over something that they believed at the time was, a fair election, kind of. Obviously, I'm not saying the left didn't deny 2016. They did with their bogus investigations and all that. But still, you saw people that were going out there angry and doing all this stuff. It gets glossed over, but you saw a lot of it on the left. And yeah, the pendulum swung back. And if you think the Democrats are going to give up on power easily, because if you really think that they're committed to democracy, yeah, no, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But I'm saying they'd have a mandate to make things hell. I'm not saying Trump wouldn't get in the White House. I'm sure he would, but they're definitely going to make things very tough for that to happen. Most likely. Even if Donald Trump wins decisively, they're still probably not going to let go super easily. But still, looking at this, 269 would be a chaotic election, would get him there. I think Trump is in good shape in Wisconsin. I think that he probably does win Michigan. I think that he probably does win Pennsylvania. At this point, things can change. If Biden sees a bump in the polls, then technically we could say that things are changing, but we've got less than 6 months officially before the election. Trump's in very good shape right now, but that electoral vote is crucial. And if this poll is telling the truth, which it's a Dem internal poll, if Trump is winning Nebraska second, that's very good news for him. Absolutely good news for Trump. I don't know what would be exactly shifting to cause a 6.4% shift is what Trump would need to take the district, but still having those third-party candidates on the ballot eating into the margin. A lot of young people in that area, maybe not as much as there is in Lincoln, which is the college town, but still Omaha's got a lot of young people. A lot of the Democrats there are young, and they're not really fond of Biden right now. So you look at that coalition, it's like, yeah, honestly, there's a shot. I'm not saying there's not a shot. I've had it in the lean column. I think now it's still maybe in the predictions is going to be that way until we see more polling. But it's good that we have this poll, left-leaning poll in Omaha, showing that Donald Trump is in the lead. It's still close. Obviously, we know he's only at 46%, but that's not to say that he's not in a good position as of now. If he's doing that well there, probably means that he's going to possibly see a rebound in Georgia, Arizona, you name it, just because of the fact that Democrats may be hitting a wall in some of these suburbs, and Biden's unpopularity is something that wasn't a problem in 2020. It is a problem now. And you talk about turnout dipping from 2020, even though Republicans have become the lower propensity party, the lower propensity Democrat voters that didn't vote in 2016 but did vote in 2020, they're probably more likely to stay home just because they are disillusioned with both sides, and that's not a winning recipe for Joe Biden. So when you look at this, yeah, Donald Trump, Nebraska second, it could happen. He wouldn't need the Rust Belt, and all the Republican candidates won it in 2022, but still, I'm saying trends, I'm not disregarding them. It's going to be a race that possibly is close. I'm not going to say that Trump is favored just because one poll shows that to be the case, but still, that would be absolutely huge. And possibly, if the polls are right, but maybe they're wrong in the Rust Belt by a point or two, that would cause a tied election and a lot of chaos. And I've done videos on that in the past as well, but still, just imagine if he gets that electoral vote, that would be absolutely huge and would boost his odds of victory significantly. So anyways, guys, like this video, comment down below, subscribe to the channel if you are new, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Red Eagle, out.